For most parents, providing a better life for their kids is a top priority. Now, my parents, they sacrificed everything for my brothers and I. And for that, I'm forever grateful. When I had my first child, Sarah, I stressed a ton to figure out the best way to invest in her future. I considered a 529 plan, but I wasn't thrilled about the limitations on the investments, and also the fact that everything had to be used for educational expenses, because honestly, I'm not really sure where AI is going to take education in the next 10 to 15 years. So like many parents, and probably yourself, I struggled to find the right plan for her. So to make sure you struggle a little bit less, today I'm going to go over the UTMA custodial account. Now, to do this, I consulted with my AI assistant, Tiara, to make sure you have all the information that you need to see if it's right for you. Hey, Tiara. I'm looking to open up an investment account for both of my children and want to understand everything there is to know about the UTMA custodial account. Can you give me all of the details I need to know so I can decide if it's right for me?
Of course, I'd love to help. A UTMA custodial account is a type of savings account that allows an adult to transfer assets to a minor. It's a way to gift property to minors without needing to set up a trust fund, making it simpler and more cost-effective. The account can hold a variety of assets, including cash, stocks, bonds, fine art, and even real estate. The key feature here is that the account is managed by a custodian, usually a parent or guardian, until the minor reaches the age of majority. This age varies by state, but is typically 18 or 21 years old. Once the minor reaches this age, they gain full control over the account and can use the funds as they see fit. Think of it as a way to give a young person a financial head start, with the flexibility to use the money for education, a first car, or even to start a business. It's like planting a financial seed that can grow over time, ready for them to use when they become an adult.
I think it's really interesting that this account can actually hold art and real estate. Not that I personally have a ton of this, but it's just kind of a cool little quirky perk, if you will. And I know that that's a really big difference between the UTMA account that we're talking about today and UGMA account, which is a different type of custodial account, but these are the two most common that people are deciding between. Speaking of the UGMA account, Tiara wanted to do a quick comparison between UTMA and UGMA so that you can understand the difference, and this is very important, so pay attention here.
Both UGMA and UTMA accounts are designed to hold and manage assets for minors until they reach adulthood, but there are some key differences between them. UGMA accounts are limited to financial assets like cash, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. In contrast, UTMA accounts can hold a broader range of assets, including physical property like real estate, jewelry, and even art. This makes UTMA accounts more versatile if you want to transfer non-financial assets. UGMA accounts are available nationwide, while UTMA accounts are not available in South Carolina and Vermont. It's important to check your state's regulations to see which accounts are available to you. The age at which the minor gains control of the account can vary. For UGMA accounts, this is typically 18. While UTMA accounts can extend up to age 25, depending on state laws. This gives UTMA accounts a bit more flexibility in terms of when the minor can access the funds.
So there it is. Not only are the financial assets different, but so are the availability and the age. And I think that age is a really big part of this, especially with maturity. I want my kids to wait till they're basically at least 25. And the only reason I say that is because I know if you gave me, tens of thousands of dollars in my early 20s, it wouldn't have been good. Next, Tiara wanted to explain the UTMA account and how it actually works, and also the rules and regulations. And this is important because if you don't follow the rules properly, you actually could get in some trouble with the law.
So, how exactly does a UTMA account function? Let's break it down. In a UTMA account, there are two primary roles, the custodian and the minor. The custodian is typically a parent or guardian who manages the account until the minor reaches the age of majority, which varies by state but is usually 18 or 21 years old. They gain full control over the account. The custodian has the authority to manage and invest the assets in the account. They can buy and sell stocks, bonds, or other investments, and they can also withdraw funds if needed for the minor's expenses, such as education or healthcare. However, the custodian must act in the best interest of the minor at all times. In essence, a UTMA account provides a structured way to save and invest for a minor's future, with the custodian overseeing the account until the minor is ready to take over.
Now, I think that the most interesting thing here is that the account has to be used in the best interest of the minor at all times. And while I think that makes perfect sense, because after all, that's who the account is for, what I was really curious about is how would they enforce such a thing? So I took a little detour here, and there are a lot of details around it. But basically, if a custodian is found to have taken the money for their own benefit and not for the benefit of the minor, it's very likely that they will actually come into some legal trouble with that particular situation. That all said, next here I want to dive into the benefits of a UTMA account. And there's some good information here, but more importantly, there's some really important information about taxes that you should know.
UTMA accounts come with several advantages that make them an attractive option for saving for a child's future. One of the main advantages is the potential tax benefits. Each year, the first $1,250 of unearned income in the account is tax-free, and the next $1,250 is taxed at the child's tax rate, which is usually lower than the parent's rate. In addition, by transferring assets to a UTMA account, you can reduce the size of your taxable estate, which can be beneficial for estate planning purposes. Next, unlike some other savings accounts, UTMA accounts don't have annual contribution limits. This means you can contribute as much as you want to the account, which is great for those who want to make significant gifts to a minor. Lastly, as the minor approaches the age of majority, they can learn about managing their finances, investments, and budgeting, fostering a sense of financial responsibility.
Now, the tax advantages are actually quite a big deal with this account. The fact that the first $1,250 is tax-free and then the next $1,250 is taxed at the child's rate is a really good way to save on taxes. Plus, not having contribution limits is a huge benefit if you know that you're going to be, sending over a lot of assets. So now that we know the perks of the UTMA accounts, let's talk about the different drawbacks as well, and there definitely are some.
Once the minor reaches the age of majority, they gain full control over the account. This means they can use the funds for any purpose, which might not align with the custodian's intentions. Assets in a UTMA account are considered the minor's property, which can affect their eligibility for financial aid. When applying for college financial aid, these assets may reduce the amount of aid the minor qualifies for. Further, once assets are transferred into a UTMA account, the transfer is irrevocable. This means the custodian cannot take back the assets, and they must be used for the minor's benefit.
Now, in theory, this all makes sense, but the only weird situation I could think of is what if you're dealing with a bankruptcy and you're about to lose the house and you then want to take those funds and use it to save your house? I don't think that this is necessarily a common situation that can happen, but it's kind of something to take note of.
While there are tax benefits, it's important to be aware of the kiddie tax. If the unearned income in the account exceeds certain thresholds, it may be taxed at the parent's higher rate. Lastly, the rules governing UTMA accounts can vary by state, including the age of majority and the types of assets allowed. It's crucial to understand the specific regulations in your state before setting up an account.
When TR was telling me about the kiddie tax, I just had to get a good laugh. Leave it to the government to take money that we have saved and worked really hard for our entire lives to save for our children, and then try to stick their greedy hand into it just to get a little bit more out of us. Anyway, I won't get off on that tangent, but if you are interested in investing in your child's future, which obviously you are because you're watching this video right now, I highly recommend that you watch this video right here, which gives even more details about that. Or if that's not for you, go ahead and click the video here, which is my most recent video. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please click on the like button so that YouTube will recommend it to more people. And as always, make sure that you subscribe to unlock financial success one AI chat at a time. See you in the next one.